Hey, it's Nenad from Simply Grow, and today I'm sharing another inbound-led workflow here in Make. The context is, let's say I'm going to impersonate Vukashin again. Let's say we're posting a lot of high-quality content. People are engaging with it. Some people are liking, some people are commenting, and some people are doing both. And let's say we are commenting on comments and interacting with those people, but we also want to somehow get all the people that interacted with our content by liking or reacting, qualify them, see from which companies they're coming from, if those companies are falling into our ICP, and if those people are actually qualified in terms of, for example, number of followers they have, and if they're doing any kind of marketing, growth, GTM type of position at their respective companies. So how can we do that? First, we are going to start with a platform called Trigify. Trigify is a really cool platform that allows us to monitor engagement on LinkedIn, regardless if those posts are ours or someone else's. It allows us to search by some keywords to find people that are publishing content related to those keywords, etc. So a lot of cool things. And what is important, we can follow, in this case, we are going to follow our own content. And if I, for example, expand this post, we'll see a list of people. We'll see whether it is a like or a comment and information about the company, etc. So this is super cool. But how can we intertwine this with other things? Well, we would like to have this emitted from Trigify to Make to a webhook, so we can catch that information and do some transformation, enrichment, qualification, and the rest of the flow. We can do that by going to integration section and webhooks. And here, for Vukashin's profile, I've connected this webhook from Make. So I've connected Trigify to Make, got this unique URL for a webhook, added it here, and simply we can see what we can do. So in this case, we have only one type of event that we can get, and this is an example and documentation. So this is the structure of data that we are getting. We have a section about the company that the person is coming from. We have engagement information, so the post URL, date, the text of the post, and then the type of engagement. Is it a like or a comment? And if it's a comment, the text, and about the prospect, about the person that actually interacted with our content. So if we want, Trigify can enrich email and phone number. If not, this is not relevant for us in this scenario. So we just need the basic information about this person for later enrichment. And the way how Trigify works, it allows us to get the information about every single person. So the execution is we are not getting a bundle of people that we need to iterate through this collection, but it emits events for every single person. So if you go here, we can see one example of the real world data in the same structure as shown just a moment ago. So this is what we're getting from Trigify. Now, if we switch to our scenario, the next thing that is happening is this Relevance.ai. Now, if you watched our two previous videos about inbound-led workflows, you probably know about the Relevance.ai platform and the tool and everything that it does. If not, Relevance.ai is a cool platform that allows us to have basically two types of entities to build them. One are AI agents, and the second entity is AI, like actually not AI, but to the tool, so-called tool, which is nothing more than a sequence of steps of potentially different platforms and transformation of data that is being executed one after the other. And at the end of the day, it just returns some data back to the workflow. So this is what we're going to use. In the past, we've used a workflow or a tool that incorporated enrichment of the company, enrichment of the person, some data transformations, etc. This is a similar one, but it's different than before. Here, I have two things at the very beginning as input. this is person LinkedIn URL and the website, because we need that for enrichment. We want to get the number of followers of this person, and for that we are going to use additional service called Enrich.so through an API as before, but this is just a different endpoint. So in this case, we have this endpoint that we're going to use, and if we test it out and see that at the very bottom we have this followers count, which we want to have. So the way this works, this is just test data. I'm gonna run this tool and it will start executing steps one by one. So the first thing, enrichment of the company. We got some information, then we are asking, okay, we got to the very bottom, scrolled automatically. Let me just go back real quickly. Asking ChatGPT if it thinks that this company is doing outbound types of activities, true or false. If this company is a SaaS company based on the description that we got from enrichment, then we are targeting API Enrich.so to get information about this person and get number of followers. And also at the very end, this is just a little bit of JavaScript. We want to transform all the data that we got into just an object with sub-objects with fields and values that are of interest to us. So if we go back, this is what we're going to get. So we get data transformed about the contact. Of course, don't be confused here. I'm using Vukashin in all possible contexts. Of course, this is going to be someone else's information, but this is what we've extracted from all the information and packaged it as the output. So information about Vukashin, number of followers, and the company he's working at. So this is what we need for the next steps. So we have a router. This is a fallback branch. If the company doesn't fall into our ICP criteria, then just connect with this person, send this person to HeyReach campaign called connect. Just send a connection request, nothing more. Then here we're getting to a part of this flow that hides a little bit more details, more than meets the eye. Now the filtering for is this company's ICP. This is just an example. You can be creative with this and based on your needs. Is this SaaS? If it's true, cool. If it's doing outbound, also true, cool. Move on. Here we have a fallback. If now we're qualifying the person. If this person has more than 10,000 followers, and if job description includes terms like marketing, growth, or GTM, and if this LinkedIn engagement is alike, like I said, we are manually interacting with people that are commenting, but if someone is liking, this is one of the filters that we want to use. So this is cool, and we are pushing this person into a separate campaign that is called 10K plus growth. And now the question is, this is going to cover all posts. So the way how Trigify works is it will observe all Vukashin's posts. So this is not only going to send us people that engaged on single post, but we should, in my book, somehow handle interactions and engagement on different posts. So how can we do that? In theory, we could do some filtering. We can do a lot of branching. We can try to set up one workflow or one scenario for each post, but that is all not flexible enough. And what I propose is to use this module called switch. So the input for this switch is LinkedIn URL of the engagement post. And every post has its own unique URL. So I have two examples here, like one post and another post from Vukashin, unique IDs here. So if we go back, what we can do with this module, we can say, okay, if the input, and this is the field that contains the URL of the post in question, if it's this post, then we can say just add this sentence. This sentence will be pushed into HeyReach as a custom field called personalization. So the output will be this sentence here. So we can utilize inside HeyReach not to create a campaign for every single post so we can be relevant. For example, let's say we have 2 steps. First step, send connection request without connection request message. When the person accepts it, send a relevant message to this person to start a conversation, and this relevant message should be referencing the post this person has engaged with. So if the person engaged with this post, then this dynamic part of the message in HeyReach could be, what's your take on the best strategies for LinkedIn content creation? The first part of the message, the fixed part, can be, hey, first name, thanks for engaging with my content, and then this dynamic field because they've liked maybe like this post, and this post is about content creation on LinkedIn. They will receive this this part of the message, and if they've interacted with this about tracking KPIs on LinkedIn, etc., then we can set this value, dynamic value here, which will be pushed into HeyReach again as a dynamic field, so we can utilize only one campaign in HeyReach for all posts, all people, and we can do it in a pretty flexible way. So all in all, you'll be able to get this blueprint from Make and this workflow, aka tool from Relevance.ai. Hopefully this is useful to you, and best of luck.